Jackson.
Hey everyone, welcome to Mike on Mondays featuring Penelope. Thanks for tuning in. We have last week's episode on YouTube if you want to go check it out, so check that out on our YouTube page. Please subscribe, because once we get to 100 subscribers, then we can have our own branded link. So once we get there, then we'll be able to have a backslash, but definitely tune in to our YouTube channel. We've also got Creative Hustle, our show on there, along with Hood Gourmet on there as well. So definitely check those out. And I'm going to get into these questions now. So,
You have to speak up.
the first question: how can I become a brand ambassador? So, right now we have a brand ambassador program. If you go to our website and click the Join tab, you'll see the drop-down link. And once you sign up, you'll be able to get an email. So it's very simple. Go to our website, thebronxman.com. You sign up. PayPal. Because what we're going to do is, if you make sales through your unique link that you'll get once you sign up, you can then earn commission on each sale. So you'll earn 10% commission, and then it moves up to 15% after you make a certain amount of sales. And then along with that, you'll be able to get different perks. So let's say you make one sale, you'll be able to get a pin. You get 5 sales, you'll be able to get a snapback hat. At 10 sales, it's a t-shirt, so it goes up every single time. So if you want to be a brand ambassador, please go to our link in the Join tab on our website, thebronxman.com. So, what are some streetwear brands that inspire you? So I would say the first big one that inspired me to start doing this was definitely Johnny Cupcakes. I really enjoyed what Johnny was doing and his pop culture twist in having cupcakes for all these different things. Big New York ones, A-Life, Dave's Quality Meats, which no longer exists, but I was definitely camping out of Dave's to get sneakers when I was a kid. And maybe, let me see, A-Life, huge, only New York. A New York thing, which is no longer around, but definitely, these are some really big streetwear brands, in my opinion, that definitely kind of shaped the way I approach streetwear. So, yeah, and obviously you got the big ones like Supreme, Babe, those are the heavy hitters. The Hundreds, I really love what Bobby and Ben are doing out in LA. So yeah, I look up to those guys. Okay, next question. How do you pick materials? So, when we're picking materials, when we're picking blanks, what we want to do is we want to pick as high of a quality material as possible, and also we want it to feel soft, so that when you guys are wearing it, you guys actually want to wear this repeatedly. We don't want to create things that would keep you from wanting to wear our stuff, right? And we want to make sure that when we're using materials to either apply to the t-shirts and stuff, that we're using things that that aren't going to be too heavy on the shirt. We're trying to always improve our manufacturing in that sense. So whether it's screen printing or vinyl or heat press, things like that. So yeah, that's how we do it. Next question. I can't design stuff. How can I find designers for my brand? Okay, so it really depends on your budget, to be honest. It depends on how quickly you want to go and how quickly you're going to move. I think, unfortunately, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, at this point with the way streetwear is, you don't necessarily have to have impeccable design in order to stand out, or incredible design in order to for people to gravitate or to resonate with people. A lot of it right now is just you have to be good at marketing, good at branding, and if you can connect people on that level, like you can make something that has no shots at Virgil, but his whole and he's a talented designer and accomplished and educated, and I appreciate his design style because of his approach to it, his approach to design, and he comes from an architectural background. Like he's a very skilled designer. So his approach is to be as simple as possible and to be able to create with just a keyboard and Word, and which is why all of his designs are great. As far as the lettering, like shoes with the quotation marks, very toned down in that sense, but then going over the top with like the material and going over the top with the hey baby, going over the top with the breaking down of the shoes. So it all depends. Like you can go to Fiverr to get designs made, or you can go to people that you know, especially on Instagram, and ask them, reach out and see what their rates are.
Cool.
Next question. Okay. So, is there any software all small businesses need? Okay, so yes, I'd say you always have to have accounting software. If you are, even if you're just brick and mortar, I think that having a website is very important so that people can find you on the internet. I would say if you're a designer, I would definitely encourage you getting Adobe. I think that's very key to making good design. Yeah, it all depends on if you're a small business. I would say the basics are accounting software. You need to have a website. You have to be able to hey baby, you have to have POS systems. So whether that's in-person payment processing systems or online, you have to obviously email is important. So different software like that.
We have a question from the audience too, if you want to just respond to one. So coming in from Micah Hamlet, says, where do you get your ideas from?
Where I get my ideas from? So I get my ideas from really just living, and I get my ideas from just looking around. So one of the big ideas that we had was doing neighborhood teas, right? And the reason why we're doing neighborhood teas is everybody, no matter where you're from, you love not just your city, and not just your borough, especially if you're from New York City, you're from the Bronx, but you also love your neighborhood. Like, repping your hood is a huge thing, no matter what, no matter where you are. And we wanted to make sure that when we do a t-shirt that would rep the hood, that we would do it for baby.
Sorry guys, our daughter's here.
She didn't want to go to sleep today, so she's making a cameo. So yeah, we wanted to make sure that every design kind of speaks to that neighborhood. Where else? We also get it from, we also have the coffee cup design. When we collaborate with other artists, we kind of ask them to keep in mind the overall aesthetic of an idea of the brand. So like one of my friends, Johnny, he does a lot of pizza artwork and stuff. So when we collaborated, he had this pigeon pizza idea, and I was like, man, that's great. We also got a couple of other ideas that we're coming out with, a pizza wrap coming out soon, probably next week or so. So different things like that people from the Bronx, especially from New York overall, would appreciate. Luis Perez, when he gave us the idea to do the Bronx breakfast, the breakfast of champions, with the Arizona iced tea and the bacon and cheese, which I think is a smash. That was incredible, you know. So it's just things like from life that that kind of inspired the design.
Cool.
But yeah. What's your favorite movie? Okay. My favorite movie of all time is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Very random movie. It's with Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet. It's just about, it's a love story at the end of the day. And I'm a sucker for love stories. So I'm not going to go through the whole thing. Definitely recommend you go check it out. Very interesting the way that they kind of tackle memories and how, connections between people and how those things stay no matter what. I think it's really dope. What are upcoming events? Okay, so we have a couple events. We have an event this Saturday, November 2nd. We're going to be at the Bronx Collab. Just connecting with you. So if you want to come out and with the most Bronx swag, is going to get $100 gift certificate to us, to our brand. So if you get $100 worth of apparel. So yeah, if you want to come out, the info is going to be on our Instagram. We've already posted about it in our stories and also in our feed. Also, November 23rd, we're going to have this big event with Phoenicia Vibrant, who's from Brooklyn, but she's an incredible artist, who reached out to us, and she reached out to us with my friend Jesse, who's a comedian. He's running No Hot Food, and right now he has a really funny bit where he's going around and putting EBT cards with Donald Trump's face on it all over the city, and kind of like a throwback to if you ever followed Toon York Tuesdays, where they would put up artwork on Tuesdays. So he's doing the same thing but on Thursdays with these EBT cards. So we're having a big event with them. So definitely put that on your calendars. That's November 23rd. Should be dope, and really excited for that. And then also obviously we're gonna have big Black Friday, Small Day Saturday, Cyber Monday deals. So definitely.
Sorry,
hey, baby.
It's okay.
So definitely be on the lookout for that.
Okay. We have some questions from the audience. One, we have a few came in. I'm gonna post this one. Tell us about. Oh, I'm sorry. That's Penelope. This one is from _Istani. Tell us more about your partnership with Wallworks and how you approach relationships, I think is the rest of the question. It got a little cut off.
Okay. Maybe. So we had done a first of all, Crash is one of my favorite artists, and I reached out to him 2016 I want to say, and to do a t-shirt. So I met up with him, talked about a couple of ideas I had, and we made the t-shirt. We ended up doing another collaboration later on, a small little pop-up where we had a t-shirt, a print, and a custom box. And from there, just trying to always build that, because this is the whole point of the platform, being able to collaborate with different artists, being able to do that with one of my favorite artists, dream come true. Back in November, for Small Business Saturday, we had been invited to Wallworks in order to vend and be part of their Small Business Saturday. And at that event, it was brought to our attention that they were thinking of having a shop with different artists and brands. And I was like, yes, I would definitely want to be a part of that. Let me know, whenever that happens. And then back in March, we got a call that there was a spot opening up near the gallery. That if we wanted to partner with him to do this, and of course I jumped on it. I thought it was an incredible opportunity to be able to partner with Crash, to be able to do this where we can collaborate with local artists and local brands as well, and create this space for them. So that was kind of the genesis of how that happened from our end. And so as far as building relationships, I think the key is just trying to think long term and not just see any interaction as just like a one-off kind of thing, because you never know where it can lead. You never know how something that happened 3 years ago, or a little over 3 years ago, can then translate into something else. As far as relationships within the shop, where people want to do pop-ups, you can definitely reach out to us. We're definitely open to that. because that's the whole point of the space. We want to open the space up for local artists and brands, and that's what we've done, and we're hoping to continue to do that.
We're actually getting a lot of questions here, so I'm gonna get another one that was just submitted. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry. What from Death Quest? What advice can you give to other brands to maintain success?
Okay.
And we have a lot.
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing that I'm learning, and I definitely want people to consider, is just how long life can be, how short it can be. So I appreciate those little moments, but how long it takes to build something that's worth doing. Like if you're gonna build something, if you're gonna put your time, energy, and resources towards something, like shortcuts, not worth it. Shortcuts aren't really real. It takes a lot of time and patience, and I think keeping that in mind, that it's gonna take a long time. I think that's like the biggest thing I could tell you, like, because if you start being a little bit more patient and considering, hey, we may not be able to achieve a certain level of success for another 5 years. That kind of puts a little bit more perspective on things. Because if things start happening within 2 years, at least you didn't give yourself the timeline of, if this doesn't happen in 2 years, then it's not worth it, you know? I think another thing to consider is, what's the feedback that you're getting from people? Is it starting to resonate with people? If it's not, maybe you have to pivot a little bit, maybe change certain things. I would definitely say don't invest too much into whether it's inventory or anything like that until you know people really want what you're creating. So definitely start small. Start with small ideas. Bring it to market, which is basically post it on Instagram, social media. Send it to people. Get feedback from people that you don't know. That way you can see whether this idea is worth pursuing, because it's going to take so long until you see any type of results that you would like. So kind of like a little bit of background to kind of my thinking of with the branding stuff. Like, until we reach year 20, really, I don't want to judge kind of the impact or anything like that, because these first 5 years are really like foundational, just trying to establish who we are, what we're doing, letting people know, and then from there kind of just building upon that foundation, so that in 20 years, let's say the artists that we're working with now, if in 20 years, like, they haven't reached certain levels, then we failed, and we've got to really reevaluate. But it could be something where in 10 years, things can pop off, because when I first started my previous brand, I thought things were going to happen really quickly, and you soon realize that if you think something's going to cost a certain amount, it's going to definitely be double that cost. If things are going to take a certain amount of time, it's probably going to be triple that amount of time. So always keep that in mind, that things are always going to cost more and take longer than you first anticipate. And if you kind of already have that approach with it, you kind of you can navigate some of the frustrations you may have when things don't necessarily turn out the way that you want, you know?
Cool.
Another question.
Another really, really quick question. Will you branch out into men's polo shirts and button-downs?
I don't know about polos. I don't think polos are something that we want to do. I think we want to keep it more streetwear, more casual, more t-shirts, hoodies, stuff like that. As far as button-downs, I'm not opposed to maybe doing like flannels in the future. I think flannels are really dope. It wouldn't be, regular dress shirt button-downs, but I think flannels would be something. But yeah, I don't don't think polos would be something that we would do with this brand. If we were to do it, it'd probably be with under another name. But for right now, I just don't see polos. I think polos had a very big run, like mid 2000s, late 2010s. But I think that's like that's not good yet. But thank you. What podcast do you listen to? Any motivational speakers? So I'm listening to the Bodega Boys, Gang Eureka podcast all the time. That's where I get my news. So if they don't tell me what's going on in the world, I probably don't know. I'm just kidding. But I also listen to the Brilliant Idiots. I think that Andrew Schultz and Charlamagne Tha God have very interesting takes on things. So I like hearing their perspective. As far as motivational speakers, I don't like motivational speakers. A lot of motivational speakers are famous for being articulate, being able to speak very well, but not necessarily on topics. And usually they regurgitate a lot of information, and usually stuff that I don't care for. Who I do listen to, who could be in that lane, is Gary Vee. Just because he's an actual business person and he's got a lot of perspective about their levels of business, from small business to Fortune 500 companies, since he's doing a marketing firm right now. So I think that's the most motivational it kind of gets for me. Like, I don't listen to Tony Robbins or anything like that. But that's me. But yeah, and as far as other podcasts, I was listening to a lot of Gimlet podcasts in the beginning, like Startup and stuff like that. But now I'm just listening to Bodega Boys and Brilliant Idiots, to be honest. Managing finance and the business, how does that work? So, when you're managing the finances of a business, you have to consider that one, cash is king, and you have to make sure your cash flow is right. So if you are selling something, you got to make sure that whatever payment processor you're using can get you that cash in your account as quickly as possible. I think it's imperative that if you are running a small business, that you at least get some type of charge card to give you at least a 30-day window between buying inventory or buying things and when you have to pay for it. I think that's a crucial step that I didn't do in my previous business, and I had to learn for this one. I'd also say that don't get a loan to start your business. Definitely try to generate sales first before you try to put that kind of weight on your business. Like, I think if you consider a business as like a plant that needs to grow, and you're not gonna put, or like this is a small Christmas tree, you're not gonna put ornaments on a plant that just grew like 3 years, you know. So that loan is kind of like that ornament. It's going to be too much weight on the business to support it. So, and also you have to make sure that you price your products. I would say you have to have at least a 70% gross margin. So basically, something costs you $2 to make it. You have to sell it for a minimum of 6 or 8 in order to make like a 70% profit.
That'll clear your labor.
You know? And that's not even including, like, that's just gross. Like, that's just cost of the good, and then what you sell it for. When you include your labor and stuff like that, you want to make sure that you have a healthy enough gross profit margin to be able to pay yourself, to be able to buy more inventory in the future. So always consider that whenever you're creating something. Like, whatever it costs you, really, ideally, you want it to be 10% of what you sell it for. So if it's $1, you sell it for 10. But if you could, I don't consider anything. I don't consider making anything. I don't consider producing anything unless we're at least doing a gross profit of 70%. So, that's bare minimum for us.
Yeah. Another question came in. We have 2 questions from Jets9998 _shoots. Just saying to do a jean jacket. So.
Jean jacket? I'm sorry?
Just saying to do a jean jacket.
Oh, yeah, we have jean jackets. So we do have jean jackets. We're going to be bringing them into the shop. So our shop is on 37 Bruckner Boulevard. It's Wallworks 2. If you want to see them, hopefully I'll have them in within the next 2 weeks. But yes, we do have a jean jacket. I think we're going to maybe tweak it a little bit. We'll see. But yeah, we do have jean jackets, and we're going to be producing more of them and have them in the shop. From Genius Music, are you still working with music artists in any capacity? Are there opportunities for collaboration? So yes, we are working with music artists. Right now we've been doing kind of a little series where each month, I don't know if we'll be able to do it this month, but each month what we've been doing is having an artist come and perform at the shop, and we sell tickets because the whole purpose of whenever we collaborate is we want to make sure that the artist gets paid. So we're selling tickets so that would go back into the pocket of the artist, just cover the expenses for, offering the pizza and offering the soda to the guests. But yeah, we are working with artists, and if you want to collaborate, definitely reach out to us. We are trying to work out how to maybe have like a main person perform, and then having people, kind of lead up to the headliner. Trying to figure out how to do that. That way that everybody kind of gets a moment to shine. Because what we want to make sure is that if you are a headliner, you have to have at least 20 minutes worth of material, so that you're putting on a show for the guests. But yeah, we are working with our music artists all the time.
Yeah. Let's see, do you have any?
Okay, talk about your equipment or your printing process. So we have a 4-color screen print right now. Most of our designs are really single color, just because it's a lot easier to work with. It's a lot quicker to get them out. And then we also have a heat press machine. We have a vinyl printer. That way that from our multicolor pieces, we can print on that and then apply it to the shirts. We've also been getting a lot of other equipment as well, just so we can be able to produce our own magazines and produce
Trade secrets.
Yeah. We've got a couple of things. Actually, I kind of want to show them the thing that we're working on because I'm almost done with it.
Okay. You want me to get it?
Yeah. Get the first one, the first prototype. So this is something that
it's a top secret trade secret.
Top secret trade secret. So we are working on just continuing to build and kind of evolve as a streetwear brand. And I think that one of the next levels in streetwear, in being able to just produce something that's gonna really hopefully I believe it's gonna resonate with people, but then also just something that I feel like every streetwear brand, no matter what, you have
the build up, the hype, the build up.
You have to have some type of foray into this. Just because I think it's just so dope. I definitely want to create something memorable, create something collectible. I think that now is the perfect time to do it. So this is the first prototype of our Rocky the Pitbull toy. So it's going to be coming out within the next couple of weeks, just in time for Christmas. So I actually sculpted this myself.
It's modeled on our dog.
It's modeled on our dog. He's not a pit bull, but we also have the Rocky Pitbull sweatshirt. So this is, again, when I talk about creating something and thinking of very long-term views like that, this was a very long-term view for us.
It's okay.
Rocky the Pitbull is our mascot, and we've only had a sweatshirt with him, but the whole idea was to have a whole kind of big push for Rocky being the mascot, and I think that this was the next level of showing that. So being able to create a toy, thinking of what our mascot was going to be, we didn't want to do a bodega cat, we didn't want to do a pigeon, because Staple did a pigeon, and I love Staple, and I would never disrespect Staple, but I think the Pitbull is just perfect. So this was the first kind of prototype. It's a little bumpy because the clay that I was using started drying on me really quick. I only had 4 hours to do it. It was a little frustrating, but this is the first prototype, and I'm very excited because it just broke. Well, I'll show you with the pieces. This was the other prototype. The good thing is that I already got into our 3D modeler, so we should be fine. But this is what it's gonna the final product literally just fell right now. Baby, watch out.
Penelope, they can't see
People
with your
can't
head,
see.
Mama.
So this is the final prototype. It's not gonna be this color, these colors. It was just I needed to put the paint that way that when I took the photos of it to put into 3D model that it would that the modeler would be able to read the design. So yeah, so this is what Rocky was going to look like. He literally just broke.
I can't. I'm so sorry.
But yeah, so I also sculpted this as well. I have the pictures of kind of like in progress shots of when I was taking the photo, when I was sculpting it. I don't have a video of me sculpting it, but I do have the progress shots, and you guys will be able to get this soon. So very excited for this. This is something that kind of been a lifelong dream to be able to make my own toys. To also have it under the Bronx brand, Rocky the Pitbull, our mascot, collectible. I think this is gonna be really dope. So we're gonna have it in different sizes too because I really love the way Bearbrick is doing their toys and how they kind of approach things. So we're gonna have it in different sizes, different price points. But yeah, be on the lookout for Rocky the Pitbull toys in our series.
We have a few more questions. And again, guys, I'm so sorry. I literally just dropped him and just ended his life. But a few more questions just before we end. Coming in from Micah Hamlet 5. Will you be making shorts in the future?
Yes, we are going to be making shorts. We're going to be doing, it's going to come next spring. We're going to have zipper pockets. We're going to have the logo on the left thigh. And yeah, that's going to be next spring.
And the last question we're going to get to is what Bronx brand TV shows and are there any upcoming?
So right now we have Creative Hustle on YouTube, which is our video version of our podcast, where we go and we interview different artists. We do that along with Josh WH, who is an artist from Gun Hill, rapper from Gun Hill. We interview different artists, different creators from the Bronx, just hearing their stories, hearing how they decide to do what they're doing and how they're continuing to do it, and how they're what kind of they see for themselves and where they see their movement kind of going. We also have Hood Gourmet, which is a show I do with my friend Justin, where we go to different restaurants and not just restaurants, but different spots in the Bronx to eat. Talking about the food, poking a little bit of fun, but these are all places to eat that we would recommend, that we enjoy, that we want to support. So that's Hood Gourmet. That's also on YouTube. Mike on Mondays, which is what you're watching now, which is going to be a recurring series every Monday at 8:30. And we're definitely open to more ideas and more shows, just because we do want to build out this side of the platform. We want to build out our content to go along with our streetwear and our magazine and our podcast. Yeah.
Amazing. Any other questions we didn't get to? We're gonna, keep these in the queue for next week.
Yeah, that's it. So, thanks so much for tuning in to Mike on Mondays. Tune in next week at 8:30. And yeah, also check out our Instagram at The Bronx Brand. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can find that on our website. Click through. Yeah, we'll see you next week. Peace.